Well, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this another brand new day. Yes, another brand new day where I have blended in footage from a video game that I have played in a fashion that could possibly confuse some people who have never watched this before. Greetings and welcome. And I'm salivating like crazy around my dentures today, so my sincere apologies. They're less like an extension of my body now. Instead, they're like just two large plastic pebbles in my mouth. And if you put stuff in your mouth, you start to salivate around it. That's what my body is doing right now. Yay. And of course, for the Shelton, Washington Weather, Plague Rat, and Spider Report, because I'm actually kind of in a hurry. I have therapy today and I'm starting kind of late. Oh joy. For the weather. Last night, and yesterday, it did not rain. During the sunny part of the day, it probably did because the ground was damp when I went walkies. But when I went walkies, it was not raining. And I walked all the way up to Walmart, all the way back. Now, when I walked to Walmart, of course, I just walked there and then just turn around instantly because there's a walk signal button. You press it and, you can walk the street to go over to Walmart. Instead, I just walk around that and then just head on back. It was nice weather, a very good deal. With my overhead light on, it looks dark outside. But when I'm downstairs in the dark, it looks light outside. So, yay for relevance. I don't see any sun through any trees out there, so it's probably pretty great. Now for the Plague Rat Report, well, of course, we all know, you see it on the news, you see it in real life, as people don't use masks. Yay. Even as this thing is blasting out of control because it has been made political, the bug itself is not political. It just wants to spread. It just wants to grow. And if you take a look at where it's spreading and growing, it's every place in the U.S. that Trump and Republicans are, because they've made it political, showing weakness by wearing a mask, because Republicans, especially conservatives and down south in the U.S., showing weakness is bad, hated. You don't show weakness. Anybody does show weakness, you shun them and hate them. So you never show weakness. That's something that's got to change, because there's nothing wrong with showing weakness. Good Lord. But on to the spider report. The gangly spider up in that corner is still there. The little gangly spider on my lampshade is still there. Over in that corner, the garden spider in the window is still doing well. And in the corner, the garden spider over there is doing well as well. I assume it's doing well. I mean, it's alive. It's in its orb. And if it wasn't happy, it would have gone someplace else. And if it was dead, well, all insects and arachnids and all that are hydraulic. Anything with an exoskeleton is hydraulic. So if it dies, it's just going to go and instantly curl up. It ain't curled up. So it's doing well. Thumbs up on that. I have a fair amount of things written down on my topics list. So hopefully I'll be able to talk through them. One of them is something that I've wanted to talk about for quite a bit. I've known for a fair amount about diffusion and osmosis and all this, because I've been watching some science/medical channels again. And this one absolutely amazed me, because like I said, I've known about diffusion, I've known about osmosis, I know about those things. It's where if you have, like the guy who does Chubby Emu, that video channel, he's shown it many times, where you have a high salt concentrate in a tube, and a low salt, a water-soluble tube, and a high salt concentrate outside in a solution that you put the tube into. The salt and thus fluid will move into that thing. Diffusion. It takes high concentrations, moves it into low concentrations, so that it tries to get a much more even thing going on. This is just a natural law of the universe. It's the way things work. It's nothing we have to do. And this science channel pointed out that is such an amazing kickstart for life on this planet, and if it works so well on this planet, it has to work everywhere else. Because for life, diffusion is the same as if somebody came up to everybody on the planet right now and just said, here's a perpetual motion machine. You just have to set this spinning. It will always move and provide you with free power. Go to town. It's easy to make. Study it. Make more. What would that do to our world? That's what diffusion does for life. Diffusion, I mean, again, it's simple and easy, but it works in any medium. Gas, liquid, solids, slowly, over millions of years. Only through Brownian motion, but for everything else, it works. And because of that, everything on our planet is able to work so well. If you need to get rid of something, like if you have waste products you need to get rid of, the outside world has a low concentration of that. Your inside world has a high concentration. So diffusion, the universe, naturally takes over and starts pulling all those waste products out into the rest of the universe. You don't have to do a thing. That's like being given an engine, a whole bunch of gasoline, being set into a car, and the universe giving you a push and saying, go. Because that's amazing. That's everything how our body works. When we breathe, our surface area on the inside, in fact, I'll try and get to that as well, is amazing. I mean, we have the outside of our body is like 2 meters of square space. That's all. The inside of our lungs, open it up and it fills up a tennis court. Diffusion. All of those little pathways just get tinier and tinier until finally there's little tiny blood vessels, and then there's the outside atmosphere, and they're just right next to each other. Inside of your blood, there's a high concentration of carbon dioxide. Outside of your lungs, it's a low concentration. Outside of your lungs is a high concentration of oxygen. Inside your blood, it's a low concentration. The universe takes over. Your body doesn't have to do a thing. The universe takes over, yanks all that carbon dioxide out, and shoves the oxygen in. The universe takes over. Your body doesn't have to do a thing for that. That is a perpetual motion machine. It is amazing. That's how bugs do their breathing. Diffusion through their air passages. That's how our kidneys work. High concentrations of waste products with the water that flows through that has low concentration. The universe physically yanks the waste products out. Diffusion is amazing. I am in absolute freaking awe over this thing. It is astonishing, and I just wanted to share my enthusiasm for, once again, science and medical stuff and just amazing things. And again, surface area, just to go real quick on this. A tree with about 200 fairly large leaves on it could have 200 square meters of outside space. But when you take an actual leaf, just one leaf, and you open up all of the little areas inside of it for its surface area, we open up our lungs to a tennis court. A leaf, one leaf, has 600 square meters of surface area inside of it. Amazing. And of course, off to another thing. While I was playing Vampire, the French have a term for it, and I'm getting it wrong, but it's like stairwell thoughts. It's what you think of that you should have said after you've left the room and you're walking down the stairs. You go, oh, I should have said this to that person. Stairwell thoughts. I had a bad case of that yesterday with my recording of the game Vampire. Especially when I was recording it, I wish I had done something, because I ran across a part while I was digging up things, and it was a tiny common handle part. I wish I had done this. I had not. But the rhythm of tiny common handle part sticks in my head so much, it immediately, upon my seeing that and hearing how it read, it was, I am the very model of a tiny common handle part. So So if you've ever heard that song, I am the very model of a major modern general, something like that, an old, what is it, Hammerstein and Babalooey. But it's an old song, and so when I saw that, I wish I had paused. I wish I'd had a thing where I had jumped in and go, I am the very model of a tiny common handlebar, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Because even Mass Effect, in a very, very, very emotional part, used a bit of that song. God damn it, now I'm going to cry again. This is why I can't do reactions anymore. I used to have to do reactions to feel. Let my armor down so the song could come in so I could feel. I was numb from my depression. I'm not numb anymore. Now just suddenly flashing back to an old video game song, I'm tearing up. I'm processing too much right now that if I even let my armor down a little, everything comes out. There's no room for a song to get in. I'm feeling too much now. I'm processing 35 years worth of stuff. There's no room. Joy. Oh, yes, and just as a real quick one, when I mentioned that I wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning from gut pain, partly there is a reason for my having that gut pain. My gut, because of various reasons, I have had gut issues my whole life. I have had pain, I have had irritable bowel syndromes, I have just no luck with my gut. So I have to make sure I drink a lot, that I exercise, and I eat the sort of things that will keep things flowing, because otherwise they don't. Now, I've mentioned a lot that I buy yogurt. One of the types of yogurt that I buy, and I don't want to show the branding on it, but still it's 000 because it's got low sugar, and it's also got what they say fiber. The thing is that fiber is something called, let's see, chicory root fiber, but that's also inuli powder, they call it. Chicory root fiber, inuli powder, they also find on the inside of like banana peels, but there's more of it in chicory root. This fiber, this inuli powder, is indigestible by your stomach. So when you take this fiber in, it just passes right through your stomach. It just doesn't even stay. But your gut is filled with flora and fauna. Your flora and fauna love this stuff. They gather around it and immediately start fermenting it. So you start having a very powerful charge of gas and other such swooshing through your system like a little bit of Drano. And one of the reasons that I will wake up with gut pain at 4 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't matter when I eat this stuff, it's just the fact that I do. It's the inuli powder that's waking me up. That's why I can't just, let off a little pressure, because that just immediately moves everything down into the firing chamber, and then I'm on a timer. So it's because of that, but if I don't, it's not fun. So, yay. A little bit of TMI there for you. Yay. My housemates are getting up. I heard a cough. Also, yesterday, my computer has a thermal margin of 75 degrees Celsius. Now, that thermal margin is just if your computer temp hits that's the max temperature the chip can do. You're going to burn out if you go above that. I have there's only one real temperature monitor by AMD that works. Every other thing shows the temperature's wrong, but it shows the thermal margin. Yesterday, even though it was showing a thermal margin when I wasn't rendering my video of around 40 degrees Celsius, so my temperature could raise 40 degrees Celsius and still be in the safety zone. When it was rendering, it had a thermal margin of 10. Oh, that's way too hot. So yesterday, I unplugged everything, moved my computer across the room, blew the dust out of it with my air compressor, took out my graphics card, unscrewed all of the parts from the water cooling, just blew the dust out of everything. So hopefully it's going to work better now. The graphics card amazingly had nothing on it at all. The fans, the inside was perfectly clear. So thumbs up for that. I don't know how or why. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. I'm not reading the comments right now. I'm just thanking people for having left me a comment. If I mispronounce your username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand with my depression, fibro, ADHD, mourning, and more, I'm amazed I can sometimes remember my own name. So we have Emma Harper, thank you very, very much, and Fern Kirishima, thank you very, very much. Brutish Wing 2.0, thumbs up and thank you. We have Mush Cap, thumbs up. We have Clueless Gamers, greatly appreciated. Made in Canada, good to see you, definitely a good thing. Calum, thumbs up and thank you. Looks like Sebastian, but it is a mix of digits and letters, so it's hard to pronounce, but still, Sebastian. Marlon Brands, thumbs up and thank you. Shock Dageki, greatly appreciated. Mikai Harrison, thumbs up. And then Israel Leone, who is another one of those people that skips the beginning of my reaction videos and then is shocked when I talk all the way through it. Adrian Bryan, greatly appreciated. Christopher Thomas, thumbs up and thank you. Sebastian Ferris, thumbs up. We have Tercio Philo, thumbs up and good to see you. We have King Zero Braj FS, thumbs up and thank you very much. It was good talking to you in comments, thumbs up and thank you. Hot Ladies with Anime Tighties Conspiracies, because that's spelled a little bit incorrectly. A Yak TV, thumbs up and thank you. We have Yuki Likes Hot Potatoes. I like that name too. Snufkin's Gay Ass, good to see you in the video comments. We have Tommy Nelson, thumbs up and thank you. Colin Reisenauer, good to see you. Ice Damon, good to see you in the comments. And actually Foromu, who's the 25th commenter and the last person. So son of a gun, how about that? Yay, thank you each and every one of you. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people, if only in text. And remember, human communication is 95% body language and more. Text strips 95% of the actual communication out of communication. So if someone sounds like they're being gruff or mean, remember 95% of what they mean to say is gone, simply because it's text. So thumbs up. Anyway, though, if you could check out my various links down below, I have Twitter, Facebook, Patreon.com. If you could become a Patreon.com patron, like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money through the patronage, I have a PayPal link down below. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money, I have a desperate need for cat food. I am almost out, and I don't even have enough money to buy food. So if you could help me out, that would be awesome. I also have hamster betting, silly things, not silly things, so do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled, and if you cannot donate or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart, where I draw interest, so thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence, and if you can hit the notification button on the subscription bell, that would be very, very cool. I don't know what it does. I don't know if it works. Also, there's analytics that could tell me how many people are subscribed and how many people aren't when they watch, and I have so few people enough watching in the first place, I don't think I want to watch the depressing analytics. Thumbs up on that. Anyway, though, please, the lobster hat wearing duck head of judgment suffers from a surplus of scorn. It is ready, not eager, but ready to cast that scorn upon any and all whom it finds disappointing. Please do not disappoint the lobster hat wearing duck head of judgment. It suffers from a surplus of scorn. And Black Lives Matter, damn it. Shouldn't even be a point of contention. Ugh. And justice for everybody. The jack-booted, brown-shirted fascist thugs in police uniforms keep brutalizing and murdering in their homes and on American streets. Wear a mask, wash your hands, try not to touch your face, practice your social distancing, don't go out unless you have to. The bug itself is not political. People have politicized it, but the bug itself only wants to spread. So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and that is a very good thing. Practice your self-care. Be as creative as you can. And I will see you on the flip side, my friend.